Leadership. It's a word that gets thrown around a lot in today's fast-paced world, especially in the corporate arena. We hear about great leaders, inspiring leaders, visionary leaders. But what happens when leadership fails? What are the consequences of a leader who doesn't quite hit the mark? The truth is, when leadership falters, the repercussions can be disastrous, not just for the leader themselves, but for the entire organization. Let's take a moment to think about what effective leadership really looks like. At its core, leadership is about guiding a group of people toward a common goal. It's about communication, decision making, problem solving, and delegation. These are the skills that make a leader truly effective. And here's the kicker, these skills can be learned and developed over time. But what happens when a leader lacks these essential abilities? First off, we see a loss of morale among employees. Imagine working for someone who can't clearly communicate what the goals are or who constantly changes their mind about the direction the team should take. It creates confusion. It breeds frustration. Employees start to feel like they're just spinning their wheels, unsure of what's expected of them. When morale dips, productivity takes a nosedive. People disengage. They clock in, do the bare minimum, and clock out. And that's not good for anyone. Now, let's dig a little deeper. The lack of leadership skills doesn't just affect individual employees. It can lead to a toxic organizational culture. When leaders fail to communicate effectively or show transparency, it creates an environment of mistrust. Employees start to feel paranoid, resentful, and fearful. They may even begin to question their own abilities and the organization's stability. When people feel unsafe or undervalued, they're likely to look for opportunities elsewhere. High turnover rates become the norm, and the organization struggles to maintain a consistent workforce. But it doesn't stop there. Poor leadership can jeopardize an organization's financial stability. Think about it. If leaders are making poor decisions about spending or investing, it can have long-term consequences. A failed product launch, a bad hiring decision, or mismanaged finances can all lead to significant losses. This kind of instability can damage the organization's reputation, making it harder to attract top talent and customers. So, what are the warning signs of failing leadership? Well, there are several key indicators to watch out for. First, a lack of clear vision and direction is a major red flag. If a leader can't articulate a compelling vision for the future, it's a sign that they're struggling. Employees need to know where they're headed and why. Without that clarity, they're likely to feel lost and unmotivated. Next, consider the leader's ability to make decisions. If they're indecisive or constantly second-guessing themselves, it can lead to stagnation. A leader who can't take action is not leading at all. They're merely occupying a position of authority. Communication, or the lack thereof, is another critical factor. If a leader isn't transparent with their team or fails to communicate effectively, it can create an atmosphere of distrust. Employees need to feel informed and included in the decision-making process. When they don't, disengagement sets in. Moreover, the ability to motivate and inspire others is paramount. If a leader struggles to connect with their team on a personal level, it can be a clear indication that they're failing. Employees want to feel inspired. They want to believe in the mission and vision of the organization. Now, let's talk about what happens when leadership fails. The consequences can be severe. Employees may lose faith in the organization and their ability to achieve their goals. When leaders fail, it can lead to a culture of disengagement, where people are just going through the motions. And let's not forget about the impact on productivity. Disengaged employees are less likely to put in the effort required to excel in their roles. They may feel demotivated, undervalued, and unappreciated. This sense of disconnection can lead to a decline in overall performance, which is detrimental to the organization's success. But what can organizations do when leadership fails? First, it's essential to understand the reasons behind the failure. Is it a lack of communication, poor decision making? Understanding the root causes can help prevent similar issues in the future. If you're in a leadership position and you've recognized that things aren't going well, it's crucial to communicate your decision to the rest of the team. Transparency is key. Let them know you're committed to improving the situation. Taking action is paramount. Whether it's working on communication, seeking out new leadership, or even taking on more responsibility yourself, it's essential to create a plan for improvement. Building relationships with team members is also vital. When leadership fails, it's an opportunity to strengthen connections. Employees who feel valued and supported are more likely to engage and contribute positively to the organization. In conclusion, the consequences of failed leadership can be far-reaching. They can impact morale, productivity, and even financial stability. It's crucial for leaders to develop their skills and ensure they're effectively guiding their teams. When leaders succeed, organizations thrive. And when they fail, it's a wake-up call for everyone involved. So let's strive for effective leadership because the stakes are high and the impact is significant. Remember, it's not just about leading, it's about inspiring, communicating, and fostering a positive environment where everyone can succeed.